Welcome everyone to this British-Irish episode of the Caravan Tour of Terror, a show that finds us touring the globe through the medium of horrific, chilling and disturbing entertainment. My name's Donald, I'm the driver on this quest. Joining me at my side, as always, with a road atlas on his lap and a disgusting pus-leaking bandage on his stomach is my navigator, Ali. Say hello, Ali!
I don't feel good. Hello.
You don't look good.
Oh, no.
It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. I'll power through. Here we go.
Custardy. Where are we? We're at the Penny Crocker campsite in Cornwall. You're already wondering why the fuck. If you're looking for a camping and caravan site in North Cornwall's quiet and scenic countryside, then Lower Penny Crocker is for you. It offers all you need, situated in a farm set in an area of outstanding natural beauty. And it's a stone's throw away from Boscastle in Cornwall. Why the fuck am I talking about Boscastle in Cornwall? Well, it's the home to the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic, which aims to chronicle British magical practice throughout the ages. And I thought I should add more geographical confusion to our already confused knowledge of this film's geography. But the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic invites you to come and drink from the cup of forbidden knowledge. And of course, dangerous magics and the occult factor very heavily indeed into this episode's film, Liam Gavin's A Dark Song. Ali, why don't you give us your own abridged chronicle of A Dark Song?
A Dark Song? Well, A Dark Song is a 2016 movie by Liam Gavin. And I'm going to keep this sparse, because you can't do it any other way, as that a woman hires a gruff man to help her perform a ritual in a house that she has rented to summon a guardian angel so that each of them can get one wish. They are locked in this house until the ritual is complete. So that is pretty much our premise.
Yeah. Months. It takes months.
It takes months.
They know that going in, obviously. Okay, that was very abridged. It's very,
I know. It's concise. I will tell you that. And I will say that the first thing I noticed, and it might just be a shocking indictment of the housing market, that the amount that she pays for this mansion is not as obscene as you would think.
What? How much does she pay? I didn't
She
even
pays
notice.
$10,400 for a year with an £800 deposit.
I mean, it is a mansion.
It's a mansion. That comes out to less than $1,000 a month. That is not bad.
It might be where it's situated, which, to be fair, so we used to always call this a Welsh movie until we realised it's actually not really a Welsh movie. It's filmed in Ireland. It's set in Wales. It is co-produced by the Irish Film Board and the Welsh Film Board.
Yep.
So it's sort of Welsh, but I don't know. It feels more Irish to me now that I've watched it again.
Yes, and Liam Gavin himself is an Irish Welshman.
It's a big hodgepodge. So where do you want to start?
Where do we want to start? Well, how about we just, with minimal spoilers, I can go through a little bit more about...
We do minimal spoilers. But we do try to do no spoilers.
Well, sure.
We'll try. Okay.
So one thing I will say is that the opening shot of this movie really sets the tone. It has this gorgeous landscape of the Welsh countryside, but it is kind of a bleak view. It's that very British weather, but you can't deny that it looks peaceful and looks serene, but just has this kind of overarching darkness to it. And Sophia, our female lead, is looking at this house, looking around, and immediately you can kind of tell this isn't about her moving in. She's looking for very specific things. She's asking what direction rooms point, which isn't actually that weird, but she says it in a weird way. And there's a real look of like determination on her face. But once all that gets sorted, we go to the train station where we meet Joseph, our male lead. We've got Catherine Walker playing Sophia and Steve Oram playing Joseph. And Joseph is not the kind of ritualist black magic user that you would expect. He wears a lot of bucket hats.
He's a nerd.
He's a big nerd. He looks like a train spotter.
He looks like a Doctor Who fan before it was rejuvenated and became cool.
Yes.
Back in my day when, those guys were real nerdlingers.
Yeah. You're what, 60, 65 these days? Steve Oram is very unassuming, really gruff, really brash, really rude.
He's a dick, yeah.
He is a massive dick. And he also... it's one thing I really liked about his character is that the accent that he has and the look that he has paints this kind of... it gives you a sense of skepticism throughout the whole movie between not only Sophia but the audience themselves of like, is this guy just fucking about? Because she's paying him an inordinate amount of money to do this.
Are you saying that someone from the Midlands can't be a shaman, essentially?
No, I'm saying that especially in movies that you would expect more of Vincent Price character than a Steve Oram character. It's like if you decided to do a ritual yourself and Bill Bailey showed up.
It kind of helps that he's got a background in British comedy, and I only know him from the only other movie I know him from is Sightseers, which is like a low-key British comedy horror. So this is not like that.
Yes, very much not like that, and he is very much not like any jovial comedian that you might expect. No. So she's asking him of, can we do this? And he's immediately on the back foot of like, do you think this is an interview? I only agreed to see the house. Like, I just want my money. And it does paint kind of a charlatan kind of figure on him. But eventually she manages to convince him, mainly due to, originally she says that she wants to do the ritual for love. And immediately that brings up a kind of personality clash, a kind of class tension as well, where he's like, you silly rich girls and your love, like, just ignore them and move on with your life. And then she says, well, no, it's actually about my dead child. I want to speak to him again. And that's when he agrees.
Yeah.
So once they start, Joseph is extremely patronizing and domineering, but he is definitely shown to be like knowledgeable about what he claims to be, and he paints a very like independent and misanthropic image of himself. But as they slowly get into this, they're going through each room and preparing it for whatever rituals they mean to do. She has to, purify her body. And he is like, anytime that she questions him or doesn't want it, he's just livid, like screaming in her face, like, do you fucking know black magic? I know black magic.
I know black magic. Yeah, there's a pretty uncomfortable dynamic between them because there's a power imbalance. She needs him far more than... Initially, she needs him far more than he needs her, although he gets something out of the ritual as well. And then there's like a male-female imbalance as well that kind of develops. And it's pretty uncomfortable. They're never friends, and they're just using each other as a means to an end, but... being stuck for months on end in a house with that guy isn't a position I envy at all.
No. I mean, one of the first things he says is, I get the room with the bed in it. You do all the cooking and cleaning.
Yeah.
Like, he is just like...
Yeah. Which puts her right in a subservient female stereotype role.
Yes. And you can tell that she doesn't trust him on more than one level. You know, she's putting a chair in front of her door the first night, but she needs him. She's desperate.
Yeah.
There's a scene at the start with her sister. She bumps into her sister at the nondescript shopping supermarket parking lot. And I was noticing this where I was like, did you not get a bag, love? Any bag? Like, she has a trolley full of groceries and is just chucking them one by one into the back. And then I realised, I was like, it's probably because they didn't want to get
Couldn't
all the
show
bags.
anything.
Yeah. Couldn't show Morrison's bags.
Didn't want to do brown paper bags. Wouldn't have been able to find them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
They had a nondescript car park to shoot a scene in. Get on with it, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly.
This was only, according to IMDb, this was only shot in 20 days. So, I mean, you can criticize lack of plastic bags with branding all you want, but
it's not as much a criticism and it's just one of those things I notice as a weirdo.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, because 20 days, my God. Even with the limited cast, I would not want to shoot a movie in 20 days.
Yeah.
That seems like a Steve Oram type of shoot. Or should I say a Joseph Solomon? I don't want to slander Steve Oram.
You did mention earlier the Sophia's child is dead.
Yes.
And it comes out that she mentions that he was killed in a ritual murder.
Yeah.
Which, and then I think they do say, like, I think Solomon's like, I don't know anything about that. Which some people still kind of reckon that he was involved in some way, but I don't think that's right. I think it's a good way of explaining how Sophia's gotten to the position she's in now, where she's undertaking a weird magic ritual, because her character, I think it's reasonable to assume that her character, if her child was killed in a ritualistic magical act, she would want to, as a way of coping, to find out more out more about what the hell's gone on. And I think it's led her down this weird dark path where she's eventually employing this total dickhead to help her with the kind of magic that cost her son, kind of thing.
I mean, whether she actually knows it or not, she does say, you know, it's just a bunch of teenagers fucking about with black magic. And I never got the sense that he was in any way involved in it. I don't think.
There's some bad takes out there. See, if you look up this movie online, there's some people saying stuff, and I'm like, that's not it, mate. I don't think so.
Yeah, and it's the weirdest part is it's not really that kind of movie. You know, it's not a Tenet or it's not a movie. It does. Are there some lingering questions? Sure, but it's not a movie that you have to really pick apart and uncover the mystery of. It is a story.
I just thought, because obviously it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to put in unless it's intentional, which obviously is. But I do think when I was thinking about it, I was like, no, yeah, that makes sense, because a reasonable person would question how the hell Sophia's got to this point, because she is a totally normal, sane, rational person. Which
upper class or middle class.
Solomon doesn't seem like that at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
He seems like he'd have been lurking on the internet for too long and he's a total conspiracy theorist, and he's fallen down a rabbit hole into this kind of stuff. That doesn't even need to be explained, because I could picture it immediately.
yeah, totally. And it's, I think the way that conversation is handled is very good. While we're jumping back and forth a wee bit. We're not going to do too much.
We're not spoiling stuff.
Yeah, is that they're sitting having a cigarette together at a moment where they're on more of a even playing field. You know, that balance shifts all over the place throughout this movie. And he basically says, you know, you don't think I had anything to do with it, did you? And she's like, no. She's just like, no, it's and I don't mean it bad. If I was hired to do a ritualistic magic and found out the person that hired me's son had died in ritualistic magic, I might throw that question out. So, you know.
I was just gonna say, like, as film progresses, she's being put through a lot, and that whole is this working, is this not thing? Obviously, she starts to doubt that as well. It's not really particularly spooksome for an hour. I don't know, 50 minutes maybe. It's more just like a dark tale kind of thing. There's definitely some uncomfortableness and tension, but it's just kind of, it's more just her having to put up with him being a bully and a shit and a cad for most of it.
And the thing is that, like, as shitty as he is, and I would say he is definitely shittier than she is, but she is not completely blameless. Like, she goes into this with a really, like, bitter, proud, like, hates to ask for help, but she knows she can't get through this on her own. And that really comes through of this, like, while the way he reacts to it isn't exactly the way I would, you can understand that, like, you know, I've been hired to do this specific thing. Stop questioning me on it. I'm the person that knows, and you're the person that asked for help. Like, eat the mushroom because you don't know that you should eat the mushroom. Like, things like that. Like,
that's literal, by the way. That's not a metaphorical mushroom.
That's not a metaphorical mushroom. Literally eat the fucking mushroom.
How do you think it looks? Because there's certain... I go back and forth about how good it looks, because there's definitely... Towards the end, it definitely punches well above his weight class in terms of the effects they kind of get away with. And they kind of... There's most films of this kind of budget, when they get towards the end, would definitely limit what they're showing in a way that this movie really doesn't at all, to its credit. But it's a totally unfair thing to say, because I won't be able to explain it properly, but there's moments when I can totally tell that the exterior mansion shots and the interior shots do not marry up. Like, it's very hard. That just looking at the mansion's got a big ornate door, it's huge, and then some of the shots, the interior rooms, I'm just like, that's just, that could be this flat. It's not, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's very hard for me to actually specifically explain why I feel like that. But I definitely noticed the second time. I was like, that definitely looks like a townhouse, not like a mansion out in the country kind of thing. It's weird.
Which the interior was shot in.
No. I know. I literally know it was.
No, I know you know that. I'm just for the context. The exterior is shot through a mansion, and then the interior is shot in a townhouse. They
probably had one afternoon at this mansion, so they grabbed as much footage as they could at the door, and then maybe in the grounds, maybe stock footage, and then it's all just inside this townhouse. The makeup and stuff I thought was very good. There's some makeup effects used later on that's very good as well. I don't know, I'm kind of, it's just, there's certain shots I'm like, that's it, that could be a YouTube. Like, I mean, I don't know, it's so weird. That
totally one unfair. I will say is a bit too unfair.
Oh, you've not seen YouTube shorts. Some of them are very good. But,
have I not? No, I do agree. Like, in a mansion that size, I would expect at least one room to be bigger than it is.
Yeah.
None of those rooms look like I would expect at least one very big room, and you don't really get that. The corridors, the corridor and stairwell looks very townhouse like.
Yeah, it's cramped. I mean, it's good cramped because they are confined, and it does emphasize them being confined and contained. Like, basically, once the movie starts, most of the time, the only breaks you have from their confinement and like proximity to each other, they have like 10-second shots of like the outside, just just moments of like stuff happening, then you'd presume to be the grounds, like a pond for 10 seconds, bit of a break, then back to rooms and hallways, basically.
Yeah. It's. I definitely. I think the suspension of disbelief can be there, but again, on repeat viewings, that's going to stand out a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a totally unfair thing to criticize it for.
Yeah.
Come at me, bitch.
Come at me, Liam.
No. We did not mean to imply that Liam's a bitch. This is all getting edited out.
For legal purposes.
I don't know. I don't want to get fucking stabbed. Not that he would stab anyone.
Oh, yeah. See, slander all over the
God
place. Steve
damn
Owen's
it.
going to come for you.
Deservedly stabbed. If I say deservedly stabbed, that's all right, I think.
I mean, that just sounds like you know you deserve to be stabbed.
Yeah, so if I say that...
And also, could we not mention stabbing? I have a huge seeping wound on my side. Talking about the budget, and again, I'm not going to go too hard into the details, but I will say that although at certain moments the budget shows, and the budget does show, it uses its effects sparingly for the most part. But even at the points where it may not, it all works. I would say it all works very well in service of what they're trying to do. You know, it's not like I'm watching a huge budget movie and it kind of looks like claymation. Like, I don't mean it bad. I've picked up on worse things in Marvel movies, and they've got literally all the budget under the world. Yeah.
It uses there's a tiny bit of CG, which I think is used very effectively. The physical practical effects, they're all good. Like there's nothing like really, there's nothing bad about any of that or anything. So yeah. There is one moment when she's standing in a hallway and you can tell like these sort of black flakes start dropping from and you can tell that is just like pop into Adobe After Effects, put a little filter over it, and we're good to go. It's probably a stock effect.
Yeah, no, totally. I get that.
Falling ash, click.
Like that one, more than anything, was probably the one that I was like, that just looks a wee bit too stock. But even then, that is my third viewing of it. So it's gonna stand out more.
Yeah, I know. We're being very nitpicky compared to how we usually would be. I thought the soundtrack's very good as well. It's like, it's hard to describe exactly. It's like low, bassy thrums and like tinky tonky plinky plonky noises. It's like weird instruments. I'm not even sure exactly what it is that's making all the
It is a very sparse soundtrack.
Yeah, it is very sparse, yeah.
But when it does, it rises and it is kind of grating and off-putting in a very effective way.
Yeah, it does really enhance the atmosphere.
Just to translate the plunky plonky tinky tonky.
Yeah. It's like, you know, if you like thrum a bass guitar then hit a walk. That's kind of what we're talking about. Yeah. But better than that. There's I actually wrote it down. There's a song called Repeating Ritual on YouTube, and it's like 90 seconds of exactly what I just described. Thrum.
Yeah. I get you. I will say that one thing about the shoot is that Catherine Walker seems to have a much harder time than Steve Odom. Some of the things that she does do not look fun, to be perfectly honest with you. And realistically, if I was the director, I wouldn't be, let's say, heating up the water she gets constantly poured with, because that's going to bring out a performance. That's going to bring out how that person's going to react a lot more naturally.
Give her some warm water, for fuck's sake.
No!
Monster.
I'll make sure once the shot's over that she's well cared for and like a wee cup of tea and a towel. But no, dear. You know, there are some.
I think those unions would be all over your ass for that one.
I'll make sure there's a doctor on site and all that good namby-pamby stuff. But no, I'm not saying that I don't believe that she would give a good performance if it wasn't that way, but the way she reacts to certain things, I would say that it looks like she has gone through the ringer in certain scenes in this movie. But the dynamic between the two characters is, to be quite honest, excellent. Like, it shifts and evolves and then falls apart and then builds back up again. And it's a mixture between, you know, him kind of being very self-serving and kind of self-sabotaging in a certain way, as well as her trying to really keep her distance, and it's like very much for exactly what they're doing and nothing else. But hey, you spend a few months in a house with someone, you're gonna have to go through these peaks and valleys. Like, it is a very natural relationship for the horrible situation that they're in. Yeah,
it takes a turn probably halfway through, because basically she's like miserable because she's had, I mean, it must be months of torture, and she says, well, I'm fucking done with this, and he says, no, we actually can't stop now. Like, he implies that there's like a lot of consequences to stopping, and they can't stop, they have to keep it going now. And then he becomes kind of more reliant on her, and in that moment kind of ongoing, because it's like she now kind of realizes that he seems genuine with it. He's gonna be in a lot of fucking trouble if she decides, no, I can't handle this. And he's like, you need to be able to handle it. You said you could handle it. Yeah, we need to see this thing done and stuff. And I mean, it changes lots of other ways. I just thought that particular way was cool.
Yeah, very much so. In that particular scene, where she's like, right, fuck this, and goes to walk out the door, and he literally like stands in front of it. No. Like, he literally, I think he literally says, if you go out there, we are fucked. Like, and going back to what I said earlier, like, even in that scene, there's a kind of like, is he telling the truth? Yeah. Or is he doing this because it's bullshit?
Yeah, there's always that underlying kind of thing. I mean, he has a very good deal right now, and he reveals, so her motivations change, as you said, about why she's doing this, but his motivation is basically he wants to go away and fuck off and live off the grid, and no one knows who he says he wants to turn invisible, but he means like he just doesn't want to be bothered by anyone anymore. And I'm kind of like, this is kind of what he's had for months now, because they're stuck in a mansion, just the two of them, with no outside contact. They've got their food for months and all that. They're totally off the grid. Like, they don't have electricity after a certain amount of time. He's kind of got what he wants, really. And he's got a pretty sweet deal in that he can torture this poor woman all the time.
Who cooks and cleans for him. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourite lines of the movie, is that when she asks him about why he's doing it, and after explaining that, he says he wants some quiet before the howl. Yeah. And I think that's a really, really well done line. And his attitude goes from, he's always hiding his underlying feelings. Like, at the start, his attitude is always, not all, 90% shitty. And it goes from basically using his, you know, terrible exterior to hide his pathetic misery, his misanthropy, his, like, want to just be away from people, to hiding what is his more vulnerable side. And I don't want to go to, because that too much into that, but it is his more vulnerable side of, like, you can see at moments where he's doing it out, he's lashing out of habit or fear or whatever it may be, rather than this, like, he is this domineering man.
He's a loser.
Yeah, he is.
In the true sense of the word, being... Other than this, do we think he's got a lot going on positive in his life?
There is one thing he says at the start, and I would really like more context on it that I'll obviously never get, is when they're talking about if he's ever done it before. He says he's done it 3 times. It worked once and didn't work twice. What the fuck did you ask for the first time, Joseph? That your life is like this? Because he talks about being, I've looked at gods and demons and the damned and been reigned with silver.
Yeah, I kind of remember. I thought that was bullshit. The second time I watched it, I was like, nah, that's all bullshit, isn't it? So yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's done it before. But I literally thought they addressed it, and I made up a scene in my head which doesn't actually happen in the movie, where he gets called out on that and he says, "Some bollocks, I don't know what I'm doing," which doesn't actually happen. It must have just been I just so thought it was bollocks the first time I watched it that I just never got that payoff, but didn't realize it.
And again, that just all feeds into that kind of skepticism of Sophia and the audience very well.
Yeah. So, as anyone who reads IMDb will know, this ritual performed in the film is based on a real, air quotes, magic ritual called the Abramelin Operation. According to IMDb, that's what it's called. And Abramelin just seems to be this book written in the 16th century, which kind of purports to allow you to talk to your guardian angel. Although, if you do any kind of reading on it for any length of time, the term like guardian angel starts to fall apart. Basically, it's all very nebulous about what it actually does and where it came from. And it seems to be weirdly, there's like I saw a book on Amazon where a guy says he's done it, and he's like the most prominent like tarot card reader in the UK. And I'm like, that's a weird thing to be. It's like tarot cards and this Judeo-Christian magic thing. Tarot cards seem to be I don't know. I just don't think tarot cards are like the same ballpark as
like guardian angel rituals.
Yeah, like, do you believe tarot cards like guardian angels? That seems weird. Oh, and also, tarot cards were invented in Italy in the 1700s to play a game with, apparently, according to Wikipedia. It's very snippily edited. It's like at the very bottom of the Wikipedia entry for tarot cards, it's like, well, they were invented for a game, though, so all this is totally pointless bullshit.
I mean, so are Ouija boards, but we've got countless movies, people talking about it, people saying they've talked to their dead relatives. Yeah, it's a Hasbro game to, find your inner... It's like you're talking to your inner self.
Yeah, you're getting your inner desires kind of thing. I think the whole Abramelin thing became kind of creepy because... I need to get this right because one of them is a bad political party in Greece. The Order of the Golden Dawn was that like turn of the 19th and 20th century, like magic people that Arthur Conan Doyle was involved with and Aleister Crowley was involved with. So everyone knows who Aleister Crowley is. So then he splintered off and did his own weird bullshit. But apparently the Abramelin thing is kind of something that they believed in terms of like it's like the spooky side of Christianity and stuff like that. Oh, you can probably torture. Probably it's an excuse to torture people, but anyway.
Mm-hmm. You just to assuage your fears, you did get it right.
Good. Not the other ones.
The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Yeah, not the other ones. Not the other ones.
And there's always stuff like that within like Christianity, and I'm only going to say Christianity because I've not looked at any other religion like in any sort of depth. That kind of like you can't believing in ghosts and like spirits is blasphemy. But angels and demons and Satan and like all exist. Like there's a lot of contradiction there, and that's where like I feel these kind of orders kind of delve into a bit harder. I mean, it's all bullshit, but never mind.
Don't at us, but obviously don't believe in any of this. But I think it's cool. It's still interesting. Well, I'm going to walk back that slightly. I feel like the more I read about the Abramelin operation, I was like, Oh, it's fucking new age psychobabble. Like, it's cooler when it's more mysterious, or when it's like the Ancient Order of the Golden Dawn. I'm by ancient, they're not ancient. Or Aleister Crowley doing it, and then you see a picture of Aleister Crowley in like cheap tat, like Egyptian costuming, and you're like, oh, he looks just like an idiot as well. So just don't look too much into it. But
it's the kind of thing that was really cool when you were 14.
Yeah.
And I'm not like genuinely before you look too deep into it, when you see that surface level take that on as a thing. Like I went through my period of thinking mysticism was cool, and you know. Fun fact about the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn: they were only around for 16 years.
Oh well, there you go. Aye, because Aleister Crowley took that ball and went, "Fuck off! I'm going to do this cooler and better." Probably. And
that's what he
spell
thought.
Spell my name cool. Ugh. Yeah, if he's done horrible things, obviously still I don't have a clue.
I'm pretty sure Aleister Crowley was not a fun person.
No, I'm sure he wasn't. Cause I bet he bloody loved this kind of thing to throw cold water at people. What a bastard. But I do I think that's a cool subject for films. And I was thinking, God, there's not really been like, oh God, it would probably turn out really terribly. But I think I wouldn't mind if like someone went back to this kind of, or even a sequel or prequel to this film, or someone minded this a bit more and gave us films about Aleister Crowley or Order of the Golden Dawn, which are maybe, you know, a bit, lean into the hokum a bit and be a bit cool and serious and stuff. Because Aleister Crowley's not, for one of the most famous evil men ever, at least in the UK. That might be UK bias, actually, now that I think about it, because he was English. You know, where are the horror movies about it? There's none that I can really think of. Are there? I mean, right, see if you Google Aleister Crowley horror movie, there'll be like 3, but you won't have heard of any of them, and they won't be real. I'm talking about a real film. Yeah, a real film.
No, it's all based on this is based on Aleister Crowley, or it used Aleister Crowley's works as a foundation. There's not a lot of
Hammer horror Crowley movie, maybe. I'm trying
Devil Rides Out was used Crowley as a partial. But that's what I'm saying is none of them are about Aleister Crowley or about that. It's all this guy was weird. Let's take the foundation of that and build a movie out of it.
Which I suppose this film does do, but this film feels like kind of the modern take on a movie that never happened.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean.
I kind of want that old-fashioned movie, in this kind of film sensibilities, like taking this stuff. See, it's grounded. It's not, you know. There's this movie, incidentally, is quite grounded and serious, and not, I'd say, elevated horror, Alistair. We've dealt with that term previously, and I would say this film more than lives up to that label.
It certainly does, you absolute prick. One other, and I know we're not in recommendations quite yet, but because we were talking about that of other things that have been based around that, Archive 81.
Oh, I did love Archive 81, to be fair.
Yeah, no, totally, because it's a very similar concept.
Yeah.
Or at least, again, that foundation is very similar, and
I think Archive 81.
Stuff.
So I like the Cthulhu mythos, Lovecraftian mythos, drew on the Order of the Golden Dawn, and basically had their own magic. There's cults and Order of the Twilight Silver Lords or whatever the hell. And then I think Archive 81 took that. So I think that's come full. That's one step removed in terms of, but it still is referencing the same thing.
Yeah, you know, you've got your secret cults and your kind of rituals and X, Y, and Z, but there's not. I bet you could find a lot of more modern B movies that do shit like that. But there's not a lot of. Even
it's more magic in films.
Yeah. More competent examples of it.
Yes. How many films are there made about the Ouija board?
Exactly.
I mean, the Abramelin operation? 1.
Yeah, I know. You can look up the Book of Abramelin on Wikipedia if you're interested.
The first.
I meant that not for you.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. That's not the full thing, though, is it? The first bit of it's just like a weird autobiography about.
No, again, it's a Wikipedia
Abramelin.
article.
Yeah.
It's not going to have the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not expecting you to go and read it and then I'm like, oh, hey, Donald, nice robe you've got there.
It's all bollocks anyway.
Well, we have talked about the plot quite a bit and a lot of other bullshit on the side, but do you know what it's time for? It's time for Ali's Theme Corner. So, this version of Ali's Theme Corner is probably going to have the most pretentious part. But one thing I will say that before I get into that is one thing I will say is that there's a lot of little themes that get touched on. You know, you've got the gender dynamics, you've got class dynamics, you've got just general power dynamics of knowledge and etc. But the main one that I found, and the quote that I have to use because it is exactly what I felt it was, is the Jean-Paul Sartre's "Hell is Other People." Yeah, I knew it. This is the reaction I was expecting. And I mean that in the sense that not the usual way that it's misinterpreted of like, God, being around other people is just terrible. It's
say it again, because I laughed so hard as soon as you said the name that I might have.
How would you like me to say it? Satyr?
Is it? No. So it's hell is other people. Is that what it is? Is that the specific quote?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You caught me off guard.
Such a dick. Such a dick. Why would you do that?
It was funny.
It's the being perceived by other people is what that quote is actually meant to mean, and you can that is just rife throughout this movie, especially on Joseph, even down to his wish of I don't want to be around, because it is that being seen for who you are and being noticed and being vulnerable is just totally constant throughout this movie.
I've been watching a lot of Frasier, and I feel like we're like Frasier and Niles Crane right now, having a. Yeah. We need to have a glass of brandy in hand, or sherry if you want, and then just say everything you just said, and then I'll retort.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very astute, Alistair.
Thank you. You could say that that the characters in the movie have no exit. You don't get that, do you?
No. What's that?
That is the play that the quote's from.
Sweet.
Cool.
That was
Ali's Theme Corner. I mean, honestly, that is the last time I actually try on that fucking segment.
It was just funny because you said I was going to sound like a bit of a wank.
And I sounded like a bit of a wank.
Come on, French name said properly. Can't sound anything other than wank, no matter what you're saying.
I do realise that, but I also can't be that person that doesn't say the name properly. Satyr. John Paul Satyr.
It's all in good fun.
You have to hit the...
Oh, God. 'Twas all in good fun.
I know.
Hey, does the internet hate this one like they hate all elevated horror movies?
No.
That's good, because no fucker's seen it.
Actually, there's a decent number of reviews. I mean, on Amazon, this has 627 reviews, which is not the worst number.
No.
We've watched movies with much less, and it has 20 reviews. 201. That was my filtered list. 201 reviews on IMDb.
Oh, well, all right, all right. If you tell me that's a high number, I'll believe you.
Trust me. Oh, trust me. But I can't not talk about a few fun ones. For example, Advim Rankalid. There's no spaces in that, so I don't know where to break it up.
What if you look at it again and you're like, oh, it's just it's just like a phrase or something. I don't know.
Advi Imran Khalid is the best way I can break that up.
All right.
Says garbage.
Yeah.
1 star out of 10.
Nice.
What a piece of asterisk T. There's not that many eyes.
Yeah.
This movie is. I do not know why people get impressed so much by this ridiculous movie.
That person's not watched this movie. I don't think. Is that someone that Liam Gavin offended in his personal life? And they go, right, well, I'll show you.
One that genuinely baffles me. Daferel Karaguli
Yep.
says 1 out of 10, the most disgusting movie I have ever watched.
I wonder if it's a Satanism thing.
It
A
could
religion
be, actually.
thing. I think it's a religion thing, potentially. Because that's, I mean, the only way you'd find this disgusting is if you find it offensive that, but it's not even, they're trying to channel an angel. That's a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm. And they even do discuss that in the movie of like what is black magic. And that is that thing of like, well, you know, there's no murder here, there's no like, it all depends on what your definition of dark and black is.
Yeah.
Like nothing they do here is really hurting anyone but themselves.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, Joseph ain't getting hurt for it's hurt. Red Planet Plasterer says 1 out of 10. A good story, but nothing. What a waste of money. What a waste of time, money, acting. It's trash. Avoid.
What?
6 out of 16 people found this helpful.
A good story, but nothing.
Yeah,
I'd say this film pays off massively, but never mind.
Yeah, I know. Over to Amazon, we've got the Garden Splinters by Andrew P. from Stratford, London. I had more interest in getting splinters out my thumb after a weekend of gardening than this garbage.
I was wondering if Garden Splinters was his username, right? I see, okay.
Yeah. And goes to the top spot in my crap 2021.
Oh, I want to see what else is on that. You should have fucking gone to his profile and see what else he's reviewed in 2021. Oh, God, what could it be? This one's not 2021. No.
I mean...
So it's just stuff he's watched in 2021.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's always reviews, and he's only reviewed... Oh, wait, no, we've got... He reviewed The Green Knight.
Oh, I didn't like that, to be fair. Fell asleep.
Yeah. But his review of it is, Tolkien would puke should he be alive today.
Oh, Jesus.
I've not seen that movie, but I know it has fucking nothing to do with J.R.R. Tolkien. It's a hundreds of years old tale.
Aye, Tolkien might have taken from it, but that's none of his business at that point.
He has reviewed
garden furniture.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Splinter
5,
extractor.
6 movies.
Yep.
And reviewed 5 of them 1 out of 5.
Yeah, boy. What's the good one?
Blade Runner 2049, 5 out of 5.
I mean, he's got a point
Do you want to hear his review?
Yeah.
Good film. Sorry, Andrew P. We'll stop shitting on you now.
It's a lost art form, it really is.
It is.
Should I bleep something because we've talked about him too much?
Hey, he put all of that on the internet himself.
Yeah, it's public forum, mate. Public forum.
Yeah, and I don't mean it bad. If it had his full name...
Speak to our solicitor, mate.
His name's Liam Gavin.
Definitely mentioned him too many times.
Philippa Burke says 5 stars. Not accurate to the Abramelin ritual, but otherwise very close to real magical and esoteric practice.
Fucking knew those people would.
Not accurate to the Abramelin ritual, which takes 18 months to perform and not 8 months as depicted in the film. But otherwise, this is the closest depiction of real magical esoteric practice I have seen. An exceptional film with the most stunning and appropriate ending. That's see, you've got to go both sides. You can't just shit on the people that are giving it 1 star.
Why? Do I want? In the trivia section, it does say, wrongly considered an error, director Liam Gavin chose not to depict actual parts of the ritual and asked artists to change all symbols out of superstition and respect for the process. And I would counter, why fucking bother? If I was him, I would 100% have written everything down as it was.
I am making grand assumptions here, but as an Irish Welsh person, he might be religious.
Maybe. I'm a Scottish person, I ain't religious. But it's not even religion. This isn't even religion. This is occult hokum pokum, nokum chokum. It's shite.
Yes, but
tarot cards,
controversial subject here. A lot of people consider religion the exact same vein.
Oh, God, why? That's getting edited out.
What, so we don't get brigaded?
Yeah, exactly. Well, God, we'd love to be brigaded.
I know. People would actually listen.
We'll have to go into hiding like Salman Rushdie.
I know this really, really cool mansion in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, great.
It's honestly, for the price, it's excellent.
Don't try and Solomon me. You'd love to Solomon me, you bastard. Is that still in the nut jobs? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could scroll through here, picking out every 1 star and 5 star that makes me chuckle, but I think we've done enough.
I genuinely think it'll be people. All the 1 stars, for the most part, will be people that find it offensive or people that don't think it's occult enough. Those people are so similar in that way.
No, I mean, I again, elevated horror, so I get the feeling there are a lot of people that are being like, there's not enough stabbing.
Yeah. It's always the way.
Yep. So, Donald.
Yeah.
What did you think of this movie?
Yeah, it's good, yeah. 8 or 9. I'm never sure. 8 or 9. 8 or 9. 8, 9, 9, 8.
Somewhere between that. Have you rated it? Because you usually do rate movies.
I've actually not been keeping up with it very well, but
I don't mean bad. You watched this a while ago,
but nah, not rated it, mate. Sorry.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, 8, 9, 8. 9, 8. Yeah. That's what you're getting at me.
Yeah. Clear, concise thoughts from Donald there.
I've said my thoughts.
I will preface this by saying this is one of my favorite movies. I adore this movie, but I will also give it an objective rating. Because quality and personal enjoyment are two very different things.
You can't give. It's always subjective.
Exactly. No, I'm aware of that, but I can also, just because a movie is my favorite doesn't mean I can't recognize the flaws in it. And then saying that, I'm somewhere between an 8 and a 9.
Oh, there you go.
It really, really does straddle that border.
You have to rate it a 9. You can't.
I think I have to. That is more where I'm.
Can't rate your favorite film of all time a 10. I mean, sorry, an 8.
Yeah, I didn't say it was my favorite film of all time, but yes. No,
Wait,
I
thought
think you're right. I said it's one of my favorite films.
No.
It's such a hard, like, I mean, what is your favorite film of all time?
The Thing.
Oh yeah, so it is. Shit. Shit.
Yep.
That's a real easy one as well.
10
out of 10. The Thing.
Yeah, I guess I would give it 10 out of 10. What do you think about that?
I would say that, especially for how it's aged, The Thing is probably a 10 out of 10.
You broke up there. I'm sure the recording got you, but I didn't.
Yeah, I would say that, especially for how it's aged, The Thing is 10 out of 10.
There are little things though.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not talking about the thing. We're talking about Dark Song, which is a solid
9.
Let's say 9. Yeah, well,
It's
we'll
a
say
9.
9. We'll say 9. We'll say 9.
We specifically picked this movie because it was one that we both have talked about before, and it sits on at least sits on my mind every now and again. So it was a good pick.
Wanted to fucking watch it, all right?
Yeah.
Get off our backs.
Yeah.
If you like this film, another film that I think you should consider watching is The Vigil. Have you seen The Vigil?
I don't think I have.
It's about an Orthodox Jewish man, some sort of religious figure, i.e., like, how do you explain that? You know, like pastor, priest, vicar.
Rabbi?
He's not a rabbi. Because if he was a rabbi, that's the one I know, right? I don't know a lot of it.
That's why I don't mean it bad. You said he's like a Jewish guy that's like a pastor or a priest.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. So he has some sort of official
clergyman. But that's a very Christian. Yeah, it's hard.
Basically, as part of his faith, he keeps vigil over deceased people. So they kind of lie in state. I don't know if that's the right way to use that verb, but prior to burial, like their dead body is in their house. So
yeah, there is a term for it, and I can't remember.
So it's set in this house over the night of him keeping vigil over this dead person. So it's got a similar sort of feeling of terms of like confined location, and it's also got a very strong religious theme, but it's Judaism rather than the weird Christian occult thing. But I think that's pretty bloody close, and it's also pretty bloody good. So there you go. That's a great other film to watch, if I do say so myself. The film's not great. It's okay. My recommendation of the film, 10 out of 10.
It's slightly further out than this one.
You're feeling nervous because mine was so good. I can tell. The Thing.
Yeah, go and watch The Thing.
The Confinement.
No, this one doesn't have confinement, is the thing. Not the thing. Not the thing. Mine's is actually Kill List. And it's more because of that slow play of the way that things are revealed and the way that the characters interact with each other and the way a mystery's unfolding. Also, a British movie also uses it uses its cast quite sparsely, but really builds tension in an excellent way. And much like A Dark Song, goes balls to the walls at the end. Yeah.
Good film. Have you
better
seen
better than yours?
Have you seen Ben Wheatley's new film yet?
What one?
The Meg 2.
Oh yeah, I knew it was. I couldn't remember if he was Godzilla or the Meg.
Unfortunately, it's the Meg 2. I think Godzilla might have been better. Anyway,
I've still to see a Field in England.
It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's a hard one to recommend because it's just very, 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 very odd. But it's
got Reece Shearsmith in it.
Yeah, very weird. Definitely worth a watch. Very fucking odd. I definitely couldn't recommend it to anyone. if you're the kind of person that wants to see that film, go watch that film. You'll know who you are.
Yeah.
I was trying to find out what Liam Gavin's doing next. He's not made a film. He did a couple of episodes of
Bly Manor.
Bly Manor, the one I've not seen. But he is doing. He's had a film funded by the Welsh Film Council or Film Board, whatever.
Genuinely thought you were going to just say the Welsh.
No, called The Starry Sky Above. Two young sisters trapped in a lonely country house must learn to work together to avoid being destroyed by dark forces lurking within. Now,
hold on.
That does sound very fucking similar, Mr. Gavin. He is writing and directing it.
I mean,
we'll see.
The first one was good. Why not just keep it going?
Maybe it might be a sequel. It might be the sequel I'm asking for. I don't know.
True.
Aye, there you go.
Yeah, I was surprised considering that movie was made in 2016. I was surprised at the lack of work he has had in any form. Like literally 2 episodes of Bly Manor is all I could find. I genuinely thought that someone would pick him up for something, or it wouldn't take 7 years for a movie to get funded, or he would do even like similar to Bly Manor, do a couple of episodes of a TV show. It was just a bit odd, like when a movie's and this movie was critically well received.
Yeah. Well, he's writing and directing a Starry Sky Above, so maybe it's through choice of wanting to develop a project himself. We can but hope.
True.
We can but hope.
Very true. And speaking of but hope, this wound is looking very bad, Donald. I think I need more than hope. Is there a good old hospital around?
In Cornwall? No.
Ah, shit. So where are we going next? I'll have to get a hospital there.
I actually don't really know.
Okay.
Where do you want to go?
Where do I want to go?
Pick right now. Where do you want to go?
Where have we not gone?
Quick. Just pick a place. Quick.
Belarus.
Oh, for fuck.
What do you want from me? We've done all the major ones.
Pick a place where there's
Switzerland.
a film.
Switzerland. If you can't find a fucking Swiss film, Switzerland or Netherlands.
Right, okay. Well, probably none of them.
Fucking... A man asks you your dying wish as you bleed pus onto his caravan, and then he denies you it.
Your dying wish is to go to Belarus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Switzerland or the Netherlands.
It's valid. I just wouldn't have anticipated it, that's all. Okay, fine.
I've heard the Belarusians are a fine people.
I'm sure they are. No shade. Hey, no shade. Well, on that note, your disgusting stomach custard is leaking everywhere, so I guess we should go.
The worst part about this is I have to cook and clean for you, so...
Please.
Oh, right. Well...
Fucking get to it.
If I'm still alive, we'll see you all next time.
Bye.